So hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Marios Gallardi and I am the Graduate Assistant at IUP's Career and Professional Development Center. And for this session, we're joined with Jacqueline and Michael from Wesley's Family Services. So thank you both so much for joining.
You're welcome.
So just to start off, maybe you both could tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with your organization.
I'll start. My name is Michael Edeke. I am the one of the HR managers and also in charge of HR, the HR recruitment manager here for Wesley Family Services. So essentially, I'm in charge of with my team, all of our programs, recruitment efforts, and bringing candidates into the programs, along with onboarding and other HR tasks that are assigned to me as a whole. A little bit about myself: from Philadelphia, moved out to Pittsburgh 13 years ago after I went to IUP, and had two kids, young ones, 6 and 3. And I've been with Wesley Family Services now about 2.5 years.
So thank you.
And hi, everybody. I'm Jackie Maskery. I am the staff supervisor over at Wexford Satellite Office. I'm in charge of hiring, onboarding, managing the BHPs over there at the Wexford office in the BHRS, soon to be IBHS program, as well as the Wonder Kids Therapeutic Social Groups program. So it's my responsibility over there to pair clinicians with clients and families in the BHRS program, as well as I'm usually the main point of contact for our clients and families as well when I have to reach out. And I have been with Wesley myself for about 10 years now too. And I'm here from the Pittsburgh area. So huge Steeler and Pens fan.
Awesome. So some conflicting cities between Philly and Pittsburgh.
I'm the only Philly guy here, really, so I hear it a lot.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing. My next question then is, what do you find that employees and interns like best about your organization?
What I would say is, as a nonprofit organization and the culture that our CEO, Doug, has created, is we're almost like a big family. You know, we have what we call 7 different micro enterprises with about 10 programs underneath each of them, but we all interact together. We all share information together, and it's really a family atmosphere. We're here to really help the mental health, help anyone with disabilities, the elderly. I mean, we take care of adolescents to aging population. So we really, try to have a large scope of care to provide services, and we do, like Jackie's program and other programs do a great job of doing that. So I think the idea of just being like a family, if you have kids or you're not feeling you need time off, everyone's understanding of that. And everyone's here to really, pick up if someone has to leave, pick up their work just to get it done. It's a really collaborative company, and one that everyone seems to like because it's like a family almost. You get to know everyone and you get to work across all the business units with each other and learn their business units, and that allows, which I know Jackie is probably going to speak on either in this question or another question, but learning all the business lines allows people to transition to other services. So we're working on career pathing. So if you come in with a bachelor's, but then you get your master's, where you can move from there. So there's a lot of internal transitions that are available. And that's one thing when I talk to candidates to hire them on, they're really, really excited about. Another thing I'm not going to lie is our PTO. A lot of candidates love our PTO plan and we have some really, really good benefits, more so than regular companies. I mean, I work for profit companies and then for nonprofit, and for profit companies, you're there all hours of the day, hit your numbers. here you kind of have a good set schedule, as long as you're getting your work done, but everyone's understanding that we want a work-life balance here. And that's, what our CEO, Doug, really, drives to everyone that works here, as long as keeping up with the mission of the company.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Many companies, I think, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, many companies claim that they strive to do better for their clients and families as well as their staff, but at Wesley, I feel like our directors really do care. We are asked for feedback often. Our clients are asked for feedback often, and the management here really takes that feedback to heart. They truly make changes where changes they feel are needed. And I've always trusted my company. I really have, to have my best interest at heart.
Well, that's really good to hear. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that. So what makes your organization then, in your opinion, unique from other companies?
This, as I was reading the questions, one of the harder ones I was trying to figure out, how we can distinguish ourselves from, a lot of what Jackie and myself said in the last question, I think helps distinguish ourselves too. But going back to our CEO, Doug, and just his mission and his drive for excellence and to empower the individuals that we serve in our community really sets us apart. I think looking back on, the last 3 months with COVID, and a lot of companies shutting down, not being able to support individuals in crises that we are still currently servicing them in. We have been able to find ways to do telecommunication and other ways to ensure that we keep open as many programs as possible so we can continue to serve the community. It wasn't like, let's shut down everything to save the company. Doug and the rest, of the staff agreed we want to keep open and do what we can for the clients we're serving, because we've already had made such a big impact on their lives. We didn't want it to stop because of the virus. So we found unique ways, and the programs, each of themselves found very unique ways to continue to deliver their services. While I saw other companies similar to ours kind of had to shut down for a while. Some of their clients didn't know where to go. So, just in retrospect of the last 3 months, I think what we did during the virus and how quickly we were able to do it, to go to telehealth and other types of services, kind of like Zoom meetings, therapy sessions through Zoom, really helped set us apart and kept us above the curve compared to other agencies.
And then Jackie, do you have anything to add or similar?
Yeah, I agree. I think we had mentioned this before, but we really do continue to offer great incentives. One of them that comes to mind in my program in particular is the licensure assistance program. And so those that are working toward and have their master's in hand, for a lot of us, that license carries with it many supervision hours that are needed, provided one-on-one to you. We here at Wesley provide you with a weekly schedule. We provide it in-house right there at the office. And the only thing we really ask after you've graduated from the program is for you to work somewhere here under the Wesley umbrella for a year. And then if you do so, then that licensure assistance program is provided for free for you. And I think that that's one of the best incentives that we are able to tout in my program in particular. So happy to.
That's why we have tuition reimbursement along with the licensure assistance. We do have tuition reimbursement for fall and spring semesters after an individual has been with us for 1 year. So if someone does have their bachelor's, for instance, and they want to go for their master's, we will provide tuition assistance, and that would allow them to get their master's and then maybe move up to a higher position, be promoted that way.
Great. Well, those sound like great opportunities. So thank you for sharing. That does kind of go with my next question then. What is something that most people don't know or would be surprised to learn about your organization?
So what I would say is, and I'm a little newer than Jackie, so I think she might have a different perspective. But since I've been here, we merged with another company. It was Wesley Spectrum and Family Services, a PA. Each entity kind of did their own program. So we merged about 2.5 years ago, right when I joined, right when I got my position. And I think a lot of people still aren't are surprised by how many programs we really do have, and how many how many programs we're able to assist people with, and how many programs we really do have. Sometimes people think we're just mainly mental health, but we're so much more than that. We have a lot of other fields of study, other options, even from IT to maintenance, all the way down to direct support care workers, and then therapists, doctors. We really, going back to saying earlier, we really cover a large scope of services. And I don't think it's often people in the public are aware of all the services we can provide unless you actually went to our website and did a lot of research and actually looked at every program. So, I mean, to me, being a little newer than Jackie, that'd be one thing I think when I talk to people about Wesley Family Services, like, oh, you provide that, you provide this too. And I'm like, yes, because of the merger, we provide pretty much everything from a child to an elderly or an adult.
Yeah, I actually thought the same. When I first saw this question, the first thing that came to my mind was the main thing that sets us apart, I think, from other agencies really, is our ability to just provide that lifelong support for individuals now. I was a part of Wesley when it was Wesley Spectrum for quite some time. And although I always felt we provided stellar services for our children and families, those services programs. And since the merger, we are now able truly to provide support as well. We, if they are an individual that requires lifelong support, day program for the adult day program, I should say, the group home that we have available here at Wesley, we could provide that for them. If they are able to titrate services down, we try very hard to make sure that we are working our way into that discharge and into step-down services and community supports even for them. And so I think that we're able to provide a myriad of different services, no matter what your ability level is, really. And you know, if that is that type of individual and family that is going to need services and supports throughout their lifespan, we're able to do that for them now. So it doesn't just end at 21 anymore.
Wow, great. Thank you. So my next question then is, what is something that you look for on a candidate's resume or cover letter?
So looking at a lot of resumes and cover letters, what I would say is when you have a lot of resumes to go through and pre-screen to send to supervisors and hiring managers like Jackie or part of other programs, is you want to try to keep a resume to one page with the main bulletin points for your job descriptions that kind of outline the job that you're looking for, you know, and things that people automatically, you know, think of they're doing, but like punctuation, making sure everything's kind of neat, tight, lined up, so it looks like you took time, you know, to put it together. One thing a lot of people don't know, and it's more etiquette of a resume, is not including like periods at the end of each task that you do for a position. And then just make sure you highlight your qualifications. But a big thing looking at resumes and pre-screening them is we go first to kind of qualifications. Or do they qualify for based off the job description, based off the position that they're applying to, and then we look into their history, their background, and kind of come up with assumptions based on that. How long they've been there. Oftentimes, if you go from, and this can be included kind of what we would say in the cover letter, if you're going from like job to job and you only been at a job for say 1 to 2 years, just kind of explaining it so we have an understanding of why, maybe you switched jobs so quickly. Could have been family reasons, moving reasons, promotion reasons, but just being very clear on the details in the job description, in the resume, making sure everything's spelled right, that you also know your resume. So if you do get a call and you're putting numbers on there, like you grew this part of the business so many percentage, or you treat this many clients, and took care of this many clients, that you know that off the top of your head. So when we call you, if you don't have your resume in front of you, it's believable. We know that, a fact. So things like that.
Good point. Jackie, do you have any other ones to
add? The first thing that came to mind, first off, is make it free of errors and typos. It never fails to boggle my mind how many resumes I peruse that have punctuation, grammar, clerical errors on them. Yeah. Have somebody else proofread it,
Yeah.
Scan it a lot, make sure it's perfect, and then have someone else scan it.
Yeah. No, great.
But
great
Mike
point.
said it already. Yeah.
And that's why our office is here. So definitely take advantage of your resources.
Take advantage, yes.
Yeah, there's so many resources out. I don't mean to cut you off, Jackie. There are so many resume free resources out there. College like IUP or other colleges close by, community colleges, that will literally walk you through resume steps and help you put together the best resume. So I highly recommend someone new or update, even if someone hasn't updated their resume in a while. They were at a job for 8 years and they haven't done it in a while. Things have changed a lot in the last 8 years. So it's always good to get another perspective of, hey, this is my resume. Do you see anything wrong with it? How can I fix it? Yeah, that's what.
Okay, good. So the next one, kind of relating to that then, do you have any tips on how students should and should not do in a job interview?
It's it's a tough one because not everyone, in my experience of over 12 years, some people just don't do well with interviews. Sometimes it might be 2 people in an interview room interviewing one other person, and they may become nervous, and they might just not be the best interviews. But what I would say is what people should do is, arrive 15 minutes early. That's a big point for recruiters and, managers, that they want to see someone punctual. Also dress appropriately. They should usually ask prior to getting an interview, how should they dress? Should they dress business casual, depending on the company they're working for, how they would like them to dress. And the biggest thing to me in an interview is, one, just eye contact, knowing that they're listening, knowing that they're being engaging, and just really highlight yourself. It's a time in your life you get to brag about yourself. You usually don't go around bragging, holding a resume, you pat yourself to everyone, but you're in a room, and you have that chance to really highlight what you did and what you have done, and can brag about yourself. So really highlight those areas of your accomplishments. And, you know, a big thing to me is research. Always research the company because a lot of recruiters or managers will ask about what you know about the agency. So the more facts you know about the agency goes a long way. And then have questions to ask at the end of it. A lot of times, at the end of it, some people will be like, no, you know, you explain everything. But I'm sure there is always a question that could be asked. So always have a question, you know, that can be asked. And then, you know, always try to have an example for each question. Sometimes you get questions that if you had, like, for instance, can you explain a time you had conflict with another employee? The candidate might be thinking, well, I don't want to, you know, say I had any issues with any employees. So they would be like, no, I never really had any difficulties with any employees. But anyone in the workforce knows it comes up. I mean, it's just sometimes different opinions, and it's just working through them. So always try to provide some type of response to every question instead of just no, I didn't have conflict, or there was nothing there. Always just try to provide some context to the question being asked, because the main thing is in an interview, we want to see, I mean, at least the way that I do it and been doing it, we want to see people engaged. We don't want to just be the ones talking, getting one word, one sentence answers. We want it to be more of a casual conversation to know the person, to see if they're fit for the culture that we're trying to bring them into. So just that engagement, eye contact, and just being honest and truthful. Even if you sometimes think the truth may hurt you for the position, I would still be honest, because that's what a lot of employers look for. We want to know that this person's going to be truthful when it matters, and if they're truthful in an interview, then that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, all really great points. Jackie, you have anything you would like to add to?
I agree with everything Mike said. The way that I had gauged my answer for this question is very, very similar. I would say the biggest advice I could give to an interviewee sitting across from me would be to be engaging. Have that conversation with me, as Mike had said. I'm really looking in my position for a certain personality type. It's an entry-level position, the BHT position is. And so if you come into the position without much more than an internship in your background, if I can tell that you're willing to and have the courage to jump in there and start making mistakes, which you're going to have to, and those mistakes you will learn from, that's what I'm looking for too. I'm really looking for someone that I believe if they enter a home or some area in the community with their client, that they're going to jump right in there and they're going to start applying treatment. And a lot of it is learn as you go. When you're working with kids, especially kids with behavior problems, if you don't have any experience in it, the only way you're going to get it is to jump right in there and start doing it.
Absolutely. All right. So then my next question is, what opportunities are available for alumni, soon-to-be alumni, and current students within your organization?
I think Jackie may have some more information on her specific program that she would like to speak on. What I would say is, just looking at my board, I mean, we have close to, across all of our programs, over 56 job openings. So I would suggest, and they range from, like I was telling you, like adolescents to elderly. If you go to our website, which is just www.wfspa.org, you can look up all of our career opportunities. They're all posted. They're also on Indeed as well. But it gives you a little bit more information on our website. So anyone interested in Wesley Family Services. I always direct them to there first, so they can really learn about the position, and then they can call us and ask more questions.
Okay. And then Jackie, do you have anything you want to add? Oh, Jackie, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I would just say that I think I mentioned this already, but working in this field, it takes resiliency. So just remember that, you know, if you don't have experience in the field, that, you know, providing behavior therapy, working with problem behaviors, de-escalating, it takes time and practice. And so, you know, have the courage to jump in there again and make mistakes. And, you know, never walk away, you know, feeling like you're beating yourself up over it, because you're going to make those mistakes and you're going to learn from them. So, you know, I always like to say we never walk away with a lesson learned from doing something perfectly. We only learn when we're making our mistakes. So just go out there and keep trying, and don't get discouraged when you mess up.
Well, thank you. That was really great advice. And that kind of leads then into my just final question. Is there one piece of information you'd like to leave students with?
Be confident. I mean, you've been to school. You went for a specific program or a specific major, and be confident in what you learn. Be confident in yourself when going into interviews, and just know that you did learn it, and it's going to take experience to become even more confident. But to show that confidence, as Jackie has been, you know, kind of alluding to in previous questions, not to be scared of a mistake. You can't be. Everyone makes mistakes. You know, if you continue to make mistakes, then it becomes a option. But don't be afraid. Just, you know, be confident. Don't get discouraged by, you know, individuals in the company interviewing you if you're coming just right out of college or anything like that. But and don't, you know, if you don't get a position, if you're interviewing from somewhere and you don't get it, don't be discouraged by that. There's always things in the background that there may be someone internal who applied for the position that might have the same degree level as you, maybe a little bit more years of experience. So, you know, just don't be discouraged, and just use that interview as practice if you didn't obtain the position, to go into the next interview, so you know how to handle that. So always just that'll be my biggest thing, is just don't be discouraged. Be positive. You know, try to, you know, like I said, be engaging and laying the mood in the room if you can, and just talk, and as you're talking, it allows us to get to really know candidates and come up with a good decision.
Great. Yeah, great advice. Thank you. And then finally, Jackie, do you have anything you would like to add? Sorry, you're on mute again. Zoom problems.
My apologies.
Okay.
I would say that our entry-level position here at Wesley, they really do lead you on a career path toward other positions that you might be ultimately in search of. And so just knowing that starting in a BHT position, for example, at Wesley, now that we have these connections with all of our other programs, is going to lead you to ultimately that path you want to take. And there's lots of different options. So, you know, you don't have to be stuck in any one program here. You can move into other programs, try your hand at other things. You might find that you absolutely love school-based over BHRS, or family-based, you know, over outpatient. You know, you just never know. So we give you a real opportunity to try out a lot of different hats here.
Great. All right, well, that was all my questions for today. So thank you both so much for sharing.
Thank you.
You are quite